You are listening to the Bleach Brothers podcast, hosted by Jake the Hater and B-Word.
Hey Jake, how's it going?
Oh, you know, living. What's that stupid saying? Living the dream.
Living the dream.
I hate
yeah,
that
better
saying.
than living the nightmare, right?
Oh, but the good old nightmare, bro. The good old.
You know
nightmare.
what though? If I was living a dream, I have a funny feeling it would be like Vanilla Sky. You know, like I would just be in this horrible accident in the middle of my life, and all of a sudden I would take over the board of the trolls or whatever that they are. Ever see Vanilla Sky?
No, is that with Cameron Diaz and Tom Cruise?
Oh yeah, dude, it's a great movie.
Never
You gotta
seen
watch it.
Yeah.
You gotta watch it. But no, so the purpose of Vanilla Sky is basically he gets there's this thing called a lucid dream, and you pay for this. It's a way for your brain to stay alive when your body's dead, more or less. And he, like, I'm going to spoil the movie here for you and for anybody who hasn't watched it. I would still encourage you to watch it because it's a good movie. But he ends up having a nightmare in the middle of this lucid dream, and it just creates this madness shit show for him. And that's kind of what I feel like if I was living the dream that's how it turned out.
Okay.
Yeah. So speaking of dreams, I fell asleep on the couch the other night. Mm-hmm. And like, let me kind of back up a little bit. Like, I don't take naps. Like, if I take a nap, I can't go to sleep.
Why?
It just, I'm up all night if I take a nap. And it doesn't matter if it's summertime. It doesn't matter if it's wintertime. If I take a nap on a weekend, like, I'm up almost exactly the amount of time that I took a nap for. So it's stupid, right? But I came home yesterday, and I spent a little bit of time with my kid. She's getting ready to go to college, so I wanted to, have dinner with her and kind of talk with her and whatever. And she ended up taking off. She wanted to go get a drink, so she took the dog and whatever. So it was right at that point I fell asleep, right? Mm-hmm. And I guess I was out for about an hour and a half. And as soon as she comes through the door, like, I'm up. And not only am I up, like you could have shot coffee into my arm, I'm up, right?
Okay.
Ready to go. And the problem is when I went to bed last night, I tried to go to bed at a decent hour, actually earlier than normal, and I just couldn't get to sleep.
Okay.
So I ended up going through social media.
Oh,
And
you went down that hole.
yeah, and I'm just scrolling, and I'm scrolling, and I'm scrolling, right? And I get to one of our mutual friends who will remain nameless.
Okay.
But they've got they follow and are followed by more than 2,000 people, right? And I was curious. I was like, who is following them and who are they following? And, who might I know?
Right.
And let me just put it this way, dude. There was probably a good 80 to 90 people that I knew that I have no association with.
Right.
And probably for good reason because, and I hate to say this, like, there's people from high school that we went to that I totally love, that I'm happier in my life, but I just don't need them anymore.
Yeah.
And I don't need their constant updates or they're trying to sell me some multi-level marketing campaign or whatever. It's just kind of bubkiss. So needless to say, I couldn't sleep last night, so I'm dragging ass today, and here we are.
See, I'm one of those people, like, you know this. I got rid of Facebook for, what was it, like 5 years? Five and a half years? I woke up
Somewhere in there, yeah.
I woke up one day, it was hacked, I went, don't care. And I just was off. And it was great. It was a great time. And I only have it for a few reasons, and you know this. I mean, I'm one of those people, I'm connected to like almost 3,000 people. I have a lot of people that follow me. And, I've been around in media, all this stuff, and so that happens. But I only got it back because, one, TV and radio asked me to when I started back up out here on that. Two, right. It is great for photos for family, I will say, and connecting in those basic messages. And I guess three is the vain thing for me, like memes and stuff. But right. I mean, I could really do without it. I'm not one of those people that needs it all the time in my life. Am I on it more so now because like stuff like this that we're doing? Yeah, and I like to promote things I'm doing, and what's one of the best ways to do it is with social media. So I'm not dumb to that. But I'll agree with you with the outgrowing thing. I think that was something I had to I'm not going to try to get too serious, but you know me, like I'm probably going to be an asshole here in a second, but I probably burned some bridges with some people in high school, and I admit that, but I think it's because you grow apart, you just don't care, and you grow up and actions change, and maybe you did something to somebody or did something with somebody. You know how all those games get played.
Right.
Or you said the wrong thing. I mean, I got in trouble a couple years ago for sending a meme to somebody and they took it a certain way and we're not friends anymore. And I'm me, I'm one of those like, well, whatever, I don't care, move on.
Right.
I'm not somebody that perpetuates and sits back. I mean, one thing that I like to do is I'll look at memories on Facebook, right? And I'll scroll and I'll see, I wonder who deleted me today. and I'll see it, and sometimes, and at first, and I'll admit this is an insecure thing. At first, I was like, "Oh, why'd they delete me?" And then I'd send a request back, and sometimes I'd talk to them and all that about it. And then I got to the point, like I think it was from conversations of me and you, where I was like, "Why do I care? Why?" Obviously, because and the way you have to do it, I like to do this thing now that I'm a more so of an adult, right? You become wiser as you become older. B-word is inward thinking, and inward thinking to me is, what do I do to people, or why do I delete people when I feel like there's, like you said, there's no need for them anymore, right? Like, we're obviously friends on there just because we went to junior high and we shared a class in Mr. Skelton's 8th grade math, right?
Right.
We never talked. We're both from a small town, so everybody knew each other. But obviously, does it change my life if we're friends and they like my photo? No. So I'll delete people like that. And so when people do it to me, it's like, obviously, I might have done nothing to them. And I think that's what people need to realize. Sometimes you just delete somebody and there's no reason behind it. Sometimes there is. And I do hate that people, hide from things and don't like to say it. Or it's like, there's 90 stories about you out there. Like, oh, Jake sucks. He's this, he's that. Yeah, some might be true. Some aren't. I don't really care anymore. I'm really at that point in my life. I think you are too. I think.
Oh, of course, man.
I think becoming as I say, Twitter trolls. I'm one. That's how I've grown in the industry. Is trolls don't just live under bridges; they live on Twitter. Essentially, I got thick skin from it because I'm one of those people. If I'm going to say something, I got to take it too. And so, but I agree with you. I think one of the biggest things I hate, B-word, and you've had this, when you go back home. Or, somewhere you're close to people and you run into somebody, right? For example, let's say you went back to Pahrump and you ran into somebody at the grocery store like, hey, how, and I don't know who. I'm just making an example, right?
Right.
Hey, we should hang out. You know what I do to those people? Right out the gate when they're like, hey, you're in town. That's cool. Let's get coffee. I go, no, we shouldn't. And people get so mad at me. But here's why. And
but you know what? You're honest.
And I tell them. I'll look at them and go, yeah, no, because this is a fucking lie. And they go, excuse me? I go, here's what's going to happen. Let me just give you this scenario. I'm like a guy in the theater with all the spoilers. I look at them and I go, look, you're going to say hi. I'm going to say hi. We might hug, fist bump, whatever the hell we do. And then you're going to say we should hang out. And I'm going to say, yeah, let's do it. And then we never do. And then 9 years will pass and we might run into each other again. And then, yeah, we should really hang out.
That's such a very platonic, what's the best description here? So in Wedding Crashers, right?
Okay.
Vince Vaughn, in the very beginning of it, Vince Vaughn's approached by this girl who says that she's got the perfect woman for him.
Okay.
And he's like, I don't like this forced, awkward, intimate situations. When do I give her the ass out hug? Do we high five? Do we shake? What is it? And that's kind of the platonic version that you're describing to me here. Like here's somebody from your past that that you're cordial with. But you just don't want that forced awkwardness. You
know what I love about me and you, B-word? Is, see, like, your description comes from a movie, Wedding Crasher. That's a comedy, and, it's very nice. And, see, the way I would describe it is like in Fight Club, where he meets Tyler Durden on the plane, and all he goes is, do I give that person the ass or the crotch? And I am all crotch to everybody. Because here's the thing, it's not, I mean, I know the kids like to eat ass these days, but it's all crotch for everybody all day. Like,
oh, man.
How do I feel about getting coffee? Here's some crotch. Oh, Jake, it was good seeing you at Walmart. Here's some crotch. It's just crotch.
You're a crotchety old man nowadays,
crotch
Jake.
talk.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I mean, it's overrated. There's too many people that put too much into social media, too much into what, yes, there are things you should care about with those, but like in everything in life, just like food, as it being a chef, it's in moderation.
Yeah.
Your friends,
For sure.
friends should be in moderation. Like one of my favorite ones ever was last year. I was sitting with my brother-in-law Jimmy, and he's hilarious. Like, he's like me, he's just older, and we get along great. And he just goes, "How the fuck do you know 2,800 people on Facebook, Jake?" And I go, "I don't." And he goes, "Oh, at least I was honest. At least you weren't one of those assholes like, oh, I know somebody from New York." And no, it's like, I don't know half these people. So many people add me all the time I've never met in my life. But you know what? If they feel like we need to connect, and I have no problem with it, I connect. Now, do I add those hobots? No, they add me all the time.
Oh, the hobots are terrible.
Sometimes I add hobots, but I'm one of those people, I like to prank the hobots back. Like, when they message me, I message them for hours. It's like when telemarketers call me, or like Mormons show up at my door, or Jehovah's Witness. I make them stand there as long as possible and give them stupid stories. Because you know what? I have time. I have plenty of time on my hands, B-word. You know me, I can work from home. I could really fuck with people.
So this will probably get us canceled right here because we're on that path, right?
Mm-hmm.
But my grandma's a Unitarian. Do you know what a Unitarian is?
Yeah, I know what a Unitarian. But just
so
describe it.
Somebody who just believes
everything,
in a higher power.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically they believe in everything. It's a higher power. So what do you get when you cross a Unitarian and a Jehovah's Witness?
What?
Somebody who goes and knocks on doors for no particular reason.
That is, oh, yeah. See, your jokes are a lot clearer than mine. I don't know. I was out there. I want to give a shout out to some boys. Because we're a podcast. I like to listen to podcasts. Dad's on Dayquil. I've told you about him, B-word. I just found out recently. We've been chatting behind the scenes and stuff.
Oh yeah,
good guys.
I've been listening.
But today I put a joke on their page because the one thing I like about their podcast page, it's all memes. That's why I like it. And so, what's the difference between a blonde and a washing machine?
I don't know, Jake. What's the difference between a blonde and a washing machine?
A washing machine doesn't follow me around for 9 months after I drop a load in it. That was the joke I shared with their podcast today, and I think I'm getting some fans.
Oh, that's funny.
Or I just lost half of our audience.
Yeah, probably. I mean, half of our audience is either your mom or my mom, so we're totally good there. Oh, so speaking of, moms and fans, right?
Okay.
So my mom...
I hope she didn't start an OnlyFans.
No,
okay,
no. Well, at least I don't know, but I hope not. Okay. So your mom and my mom are very similar in a sense that they're both sub 5'3".
Yeah, my mom's a midget, but yeah.
Well, I know, but I was giving her credit, sub 5'3", even though your mom's like 4'10". Okay. They're both sweeter than pie. They're just great humans, right?
Right.
But my daughter went to go visit my mom last weekend,
okay.
And she went with a friend. They took a train. My mom lives in another state, so they took a train to go visit her, and they needed to waste some time because the train was delayed to come back. And so my mom asked my daughter, "Hey, let's listen to your dad's podcast." And let me explain to you. I think my mom and my daughter learned some things.
Was it more about me or about you?
I think about the both of us.
Okay.
And I just kind of want to circle back here real quick, like Jen Psaki. We're going to circle back. And what I want to say here is that when we're talking about, the awkward, cordial interactions and the moving on and the growing up and whatever, eventually you and I are going to have to disclose what Bleach Brothers means.
Right.
And so I just want to set the premise here. We're obviously not going to go into it tonight because that will be a special episode. But how many Bleach Brothers are there, Jake?
Well, there's me. There's you.
Mm-hmm.
There's two other bros that were involved during the Bleach bro incident.
Yep.
And then I guess I do say this to him, Greg, my brother-in-law. He's an honorary Bleach bro.
He's an honorary Bleach
He doesn't know what it means, and he has
no clue what it means.
And he's so proud.
Yep, and there's probably a good chance that once he knows what it means, like I venture to guess that
he's going to excommunicate himself. Yeah.
No, I think that Greg might go both feet in.
Oh, well, see, yeah, it was funny. You speak of this. I'm not trying to interrupt you, but I was sitting there, and it was my Adeline's birthday yesterday, so she turned 4.
Right.
And they FaceTimed us, and called, and he's like showing me his bleached hair, and we're all chatting, and then his wife goes, Jake, when are we gonna bleach you up, you bleach bro? And I was wearing the hat, and I said, oh, well, my hair on top. She goes, okay, well, we could still work with that. I was like, well, we can always bleach my hair. And Greg, I think, got the joke, and I don't think she was getting the joke, but he's an honorary bleach bro.
Greg's an honorary bleach bro,
and
bro. That's just how it is.
I guess if we're kidding him, we have five.
We're gonna include Greg. However, Greg was not present.
Right.
But the other two bleach bros we lost contact with. Fair assessment there.
Yeah, I was roommates with one in college for a while, and then we all reminisced at his wedding.
Yeah. All four of us were at the wedding. It was pretty fun because we actually for the bachelor party, if you remember, we bought things to recreate.
Yes.
The Bleach Bros without actually recreating it, but ultimately, I was approached. Well, I had reached out to one of the Bleach Bros brothers. This particular Bleach Bro's name is Mitch, and I had reached out to his brother Matt, who I've stayed in contact with for a number of years, to see if we could connect. And so soon enough, Mitch will take part in a podcast with us for the name reveal, and we're still trying to work out the details on all of that. But we're still trying to get in touch with the other Bleach Bro.
Yeah, that's me. That's my end, because that's the funny thing. B-word is, and not that all four of us weren't close, but it was like me and you were always best friends since second grade. Yeah. And then you had Mitch, who we were all friends. We'd all hang out.
Yeah, we were friends.
And then,
I don't know that all of us ever became like the best friends together.
No.
Like it wasn't like The Hangover.
No.
But it was, we were all close.
We could all do things together, but I mean, essentially it was me and you, and then you would hang out with Mitch sometimes, and I would hang out with Jim sometimes, the other Bleach Bro.
Yeah.
And then those two became like close.
Those two
friends.
became inseparable, and then that's really where you and I started doing our own thing.
Yeah.
But so anyway, to put a ribbon on this, I'm very pleased that we were able to get in touch recently. We were able to put some water under the bridge that needed to be under the bridge, and it's just nice sometimes to kind of bite that maturity bullet, if you will, and just make sure that life happens. Because at the end of the day, life is just a journey, and it's not any fun if you're just going stagnant.
Thank God you didn't do like a Ferris Bueller quote. The life moves pretty fast. No.
Yeah, right.
So speaking of circling back, I want to circle back on something that you started out the episode with, naps. Okay.
Oh yeah.
And so you know me, B-word. I used to never sleep at all.
Right.
And then I remember when I was with my wife, we started dating. She hated it because I would never come to bed. I would just be up all the time, And I'm like a ferret. I just run. And so then she started convincing me, you got to rest. I've realized this about my life, B-word. I'm aging like a dog. And not like too bad, but like I was puppy years for a long time. And now I'm in that grumpy, like all I want to do is nap and lay around and eat everybody's scraps. Like as a dad, you know this, and I got multiple kids. Like I just stand over the sink, like Louis C.K. says, and just finish their plate so they don't waste their food. I am a dog. I nap. I like my belly scratched. I'm losing hair. I'm achy all the time. I smell. It's just not good, B-word. And I just realized that, like watching my dog. And the reason I'm thinking of this is a few reasons. One, we were talking about friendship, and I don't know if you remember in second grade when we were in class, we had to write a report on what we wanted to be when we grew up. And if you
don't know that I remember that part.
Okay. The reason I do is because it's been a big story in my family for years. So I had white hair growing up. Remember, I was a towhead.
Yes.
So I wrote, everybody's going to class, and, like people like you are like, I want to be a fireman. I want to be a policeman. I want to be, whatever. Ron Jeremy. Right. I don't know. I wrote, I wanted to be a white dog. And I wrote this huge report on how everything else in life is over. And I had this figured out at second grade. I wanted to be a dog because I was like, people feed you. And as long as you're not a stray, they give you pats on the bum, as you would say.
Yes, pats on the bum.
And so I'm like, this is a great life. I could pee on things. I could, jump on the back of things and hump and not really have as much recourse as I do as a human being. And I've just
Did you just say human being?
Human being. It doesn't sound, my tongue's all messed up. I don't know. I can't speak properly. Like, I'm one of those people, I say crayons. How do you say it? Crayons.
It's crayons.
Crayons.
No,
crayons.
it's crayons.
Crayons. See? No, whatever. This is
God.
going to sound terrible if we keep arguing. But anyways, so I was thinking of that from the second grade. Then I was thinking, because I have my German Shepherd sleeping next to me while we're recording this, right? And what is worse than a dog just farting in a room with the door closed with you? It's so bad right now. He
having the fan blow right into your face with it.
All right. Oh yeah, that's just accentuating it though. I mean, like,
or having the heat on.
Yeah, that's accentuating it again. I mean, but it's bad, B-word. I'm sitting here. I love my dog, but I'm just looking at him like, what do you? I know what he eats too. I feed him. I know what he eats. So it's not like, when you look at people go, like, when your friend comes over, like when you were kids, teenagers, and you bust ass, and you're like, man, what did you eat? And you're like, oh, you want to guess? It's like, I know what this dog eats. I know what he does all day. He's the most routine dog. He eats at 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. He goes on a walk.
Right.
He drinks 9 gallons of water. He's that type of dog, okay? He's very regimented, right. Good German Shepherd. But he smells so bad, and I don't understand it.
The only thing that I would say, because obviously dogs have that nasty scent that comes with them, but the only thing that I would say is worse is somebody with bad breath that's maybe a few inches from your face giving you a long-winded story on something you're uninterested about.
Now, do you... So I had something like now, do you mean like... Because coffee breath, I think, is its own genre of bad mouth breath smells?
No, like... Yeah.
Or are you talking like Beyonce halitosis?
I'm talking like... Yeah, I'm talking like nasty gums...
Ugh.
Like fluoride, or not fluoride, but gingivitis
plaque
gums with plaquey teeth.
So I was, we talked before on this show. I was getting my hair cut the other day. You know how I don't like to talk? I found there's a new reason why I don't like to talk. So the girl cutting my hair, I went and saw a nude girl. And a new girl. Remember, my tongue's messed up. I can't speak properly tonight. So I went and I saw a new girl cutting my hair, and she had the worst stank coffee breath, but she wouldn't shut up. And I'm already annoyed because I don't want to talk. And then now I got smelly mouth right in my face because, she's cutting real close. She's doing that. There's no mask anymore. She's really in there, and it's like deep. And I'm just like, I'm doing that thing where I'm holding my breath in between every clip. Because I just don't know when it's going to end. And I was just like, please let this haircut in. And that's like my enjoyable space. That's like if you were like somebody that like did yoga or, Zen meditation every day. And somebody just came into your little Buddha room and kept ripping ass like my dog. Just ruined it.
Buddha room.
Yeah, your little Buddha room. And she went in my Buddha room, cut my hair, and just stank mouth right in my face.
Oh, man, Jake.
I'm sorry.
What are we going to do with you?
I'm just all over the place right now.
I think we have to change the subject now because, like, this is bad. This is bad. So the other day, because, we talk throughout the week and we'll send each other ideas for stuff we want to talk about, but then separately, we'll just send each other conversational pieces because we want to argue or banter back and forth.
Right.
And so I sent you this list of cars from TV and film.
Yes.
I wanted to go over this with you. And what I want to do is decide if you had the key to any of these vehicles, which vehicle would you be driving? Okay?
Okay.
So the choices are the General Lee from the Dukes of Hazzard.
Okay.
You've got the DeLorean from Back to the Future. You have Knight Rider from the TV show Knight Rider.
Okay.
You have Starsky and Hutch's car. And to be honest with you, man, this might be weird, but I completely forgot what their car is. You have Mad Max. You have James Bond's car from Goldfinger. Okay. Which, to be honest with you, I know that you and I talked about James Bond, and you said you never saw it. I've never seen Goldfinger specifically. So
I know it's like an old Mercedes, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah, it is an old Mercedes. Yeah. But I've never seen the movie, so I don't know if it has like some special gadgets.
No, it's an
or whatever.
Aston Martin. I'm looking at this.
Oh, is it an Aston Martin?
It's an Aston Martin. Oh, but still great.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
You have the Ghostbusters wagon.
Okay.
Okay, or the little ambulance thing. You have the A-Team's van.
Okay.
You have Magnum PI's Ferrari.
Okay.
Miami Vice's Ferrari.
Okay.
You have the Batmobile from Batman Returns, so the Michael Keaton one. And then you also have Herbie the Love Bug.
Ugh, a rolling nutsack. That's what those are. They're rolling nutsacks. So I think we know that's not my pick.
That's probably not your pick. So again, to preface the question, you have a key to each vehicle. Which one are you going to choose to drive and why?
Question first: does it have the
Okay.
powers, or is it just the car? Like, is this like real life where I went to a movie set and they let me take it, or is this like I actually get the bells and like if it's Knight Rider, it actually talks to me?
You're the author to this story, dude.
Okay, so
You let me know.
So I'm gonna go with they get all the powers and everything, and the problem is everybody's gonna pick the DeLorean because they want to go into time, but I don't.
Okay.
I do not want to time travel. I'm already living enough. I'm fine. So it's like the wishing for more wishes. I don't need that shit in my life. The Batmobile would be cool, but I don't want to increase my insurance policies. And with all those little fenders and wings, I would park like an asshole and just get it all screwed up.
Right?
I really want Knight Rider just because I want a buddy to talk to me while I drive.
That would be cool.
The problem
But
is,
if that's the case, you should you should just plug in your phone and do Apple Play.
well, here's the problem though. I think if I own the Knight Rider car, I think that car would not want to talk. I think the car would hate me so much that it would just
because you
refuse
wouldn't
to
shut
talk.
up.
Right, it would just refuse to talk to me. So this
Excuse
list is
me, Jake. We need you to stop talking.
this list is really hard for me, Bird, because there's two reasons. One, I'm not a car guy. You know this. I'm not.
Right.
I don't care. Like, I like Jeeps, just mainly because it's American made and it gets me where I need to go. I mean, if I'm in a problem, I don't have one. I guess I'm gonna pick the A-Team van because it's a van. It's not a car, so I feel like I get more room. I could put a bed in the back of it, and I could drive. I could just do a lot with it, and that's what I'm picking out. It's maybe a boring answer, but I'm picking out the A-Team van because I like the black and red, and I have more room.
So I'm going to ask you a follow-up question, then I have a real quick story about a van like this.
Okay.
If the Scooby-Doo van was on this list,
I hate Scooby-Doo.
so you would still choose the A-Team van? You would not choose the Mystery Machine?
Is Velma in the van?
Jinkies, yes, she is.
Oh, then I'm picking that van. Totally, I'm totally picking that van. If it's Velma, if Velma's included, I take the van. If Velma's not included, I'm going to the A-Team, and then I'm going to pick up Daphne with the van.
Oh, so years ago, I have a buddy named Jared.
Okay.
And he drove around one of these vans, and this was the type of van that actually had like the bed in the back, like built into it, and it also had a sink.
Okay.
Like I don't know why it had a sink, but it had a sink. And so I met Jared for the first time in Hawaii with my buddy Jesse.
Okay.
And we had these things at a bar in Hawaii, and I don't remember what the bar was called, but it was some tourist trap in Honolulu. And we had these drinks for the first time. At least I had the drink for the first time. It was called a Surfer on Acid. Have you ever heard about these?
Yeah, I've had those.
So they're like a Jaeger-based. I think they're a Jaeger-based drink. But anyway, we had a really good time on those Surfers on Acid. So when Jared came back, and he and I were actually going to move to Las Vegas together, we ended up going to a local bar, and we had some drinks. Well, the bartender poured a little heavy.
Okay.
And so we couldn't really drive, and it wasn't smart to drive. And so everybody who we called either didn't answer the phone, or maybe I just didn't understand what they were saying on the phone, one of the two. So we ended up sleeping in this van.
Okay.
And there's like these the black leaf garage or the leaf garage garbage bags.
Yeah.
They were full of like clothes and stuff on that back bed. So I slept on the back bed. Well, Jared is, he's like you, dude. He's tall, and he was also puking. So he was armpits out of that sliding door. He was puking all night.
Going nuts,
and I'm pretty sure he fell asleep like that.
That's great.
Well, anyway, I woke up first thing in the morning by the van going side to side. And I was like, what is going on here? Well, so Jared actually gets up and he's like, hey, man, you know, if you want to stay in the van, that's fine. But I got to poop. So I got to go. I got to go right now. And I'm like, I'm getting out of the van, dude. No.
Oh.
So I'm like, I'm getting out of the van. So I got out of the van. And you would think Jared would get onto, like, you know, the road and then turn left into the, you know, the Save Mart parking lot and go into Save Mart and do his business. My man drove on the sidewalk to Save Mart. And as far as I know, that's where he pooped. But yeah, so needless to say, it was this weird experience of waking up in a van. And let me tell you, there wasn't a free candy sign on the van, but I don't care if they say free candy, free pizza, free mammograms. I am not going in a
free
van
Velma.
like that again.
Free some Velma.
You know,
I wish she freed her Velmas.
Jinkies, I like that.
Before we start, a surfer and acid, yes, it is Jaeger with coconut rum and pineapple juice. That's it.
Okay.
But great drink. All right, so I'm going to throw this list back at you, B-Word. What car are you taking? And you get all the powers and all that, so.
So I originally said that I didn't know what Starsky and Hutch's car is. It's actually Gran Torino. I just want to say that because I was losing it at the time. So from this list, I know that most people would probably say the DeLorean for time travel, but to be honest with you, aside from time travel, a DeLorean's basically useless. The Gran Torino would be fun to drive, but
because you like to go fast. I mean, I speed everywhere. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I don't enjoy going fast. I just go fast to get places. But you like to go fast.
Sometimes, but I also like the leisurely drive too. So, like, that's why when you chose Knight Rider, I was like, okay, cool. You know, you can speed up if you want to, but you can also just drive it around corners and have a good time. And that's kind of why I think I'm going to go with the General Lee.
Why?
Because the General Lee is old enough and it's easy to work on because
you know what? I knew you were going to say that bullshit thing that it was easier to work on. Because here's why. It went in my brain and I'm thinking, but I don't like to work on cars. So, okay.
Well, so it's easy to work on. I mean, I'm a fluffy guy, so I'm not crawling in and out through the window. You know what I mean? Right. So I'm going to make sure that the door works.
Okay.
But, you know, to have the General Lee, I mean, obviously it's a Dodge Charger. It's fast. It's fun. But to be honest, man, I love those old muscle cars. Like, my dream car is a 67 Chevelle. I think that those are just beautiful cars. And so the Dukes of Hazzard for two reasons. Number one, because, you know, the car, obviously.
Right.
And then number two, Daisy Duke.
I knew, but see, it's...
Daisy Duke, like, I have a thing for Velma, don't get me wrong. But at the end of the day, Velma's a cartoon. And we know that with cartoons, your bestiality gets a little out of control. And so Daisy Duke is a real life human, and I can, you know, in this scenario, I can reach over and I can actually see those Daisy Dukes, and I can just enjoy myself. So that's why I'm going to go Dukes of Hazzard.
Original or Jessica Simpson?
Oh man. Wow. Can I have both?
No.
In their prime.
No, you're fluffy. They not both of them will fit in the car with you, B-Word. Sorry, go ahead.
I hate to do this. I'm going to say Jessica Simpson. Okay. And I hate to do this because I do think that, and I don't remember what her name is, but the original actress for Daisy Duke, she was cute. But let's be honest. She is much older than I am. And if we're talking, you know, real life scenarios, there's a good chance that Grandma Daisy is not doing it for me.
No, well, you get them in their prime. So you get them in their prime.
Well, yeah, I know, but I'd still go with Jessica Simpson. And so moreover, here's the reason why. Okay, and here's where it becomes like pertinent, because Jessica Simpson does not know that buffalo wings are chicken, right? And then she also thinks that the chicken of the sea is not tuna. So when I tell her that it's a solid 8, and it's really like a 5.5, She's gonna believe me.
B-word, 2 inches hurts at 200 miles an hour, bro. So
you're right.
See,
it's not about, dude, and it's not about touching the bottom of the tuna can that I'm so concerned with. It's about not getting cut by the sides of the tuna can.
That's a good point. But the problem is you're banging a tuna can. So you already got a
Just
problem.
throw a little
there.
mayonnaise on it, dude.
Yeah,
You're ready to go.
Dude. No, so I'm going with the original because I want to see if the 70s Bush rumors are real. That's it. That's all.
Don't you think though that would be like a really quick identification method? Like if you have that much 70s Bush, there's a good chance that it's protruding out of the shorts.
No, I think you can trim the bush. It's like, when you manscape or anything, you trim the bush, dude. You trim the edges right.
The deck is a lot bigger if the bushes are trimmed.
You're manicuring properly, dude. No, all right, so we went with that. So when you were saying dream cars, though, I wanted to give you mine. So do you want to know what my dream car is? And everybody makes fun of me. Volkswagen thing, because it's ridiculous. But 2, I always wanted a Volkswagen bus, and I wanted to convert it into a Ninja Turtle van.
That's actually not that ridiculous.
And I
know that we talked. I know that we talked before we hit the record button, and you're like, "Oh my god, you're gonna make fun of me." Actually, I'm actually a little impressed, dude.
Oh no, that's not that. If I could have a wild card from this list, I'm picking Mater from Cars.
Oh, you're terrible.
I want to just go around with Mater.
I'm gonna retract everything from the last 35 seconds.
And here we go. Me and Mater would have so much fun on the road, man. B-word. We would tow things. You ladies need some help.
So
Jake and Mater.
None of that is funny, dude. Like not any of it. That's actually a terrible choice. And I feel like if Katie doesn't convince you to go to a therapy session, like somehow, some way, I need to get you there.
Oh.
Like this is just getting out of control, dude.
Come on, Mater would be fun. All right, who are you picking?
So you remember the show The Munsters?
No, but I know the show.
Did you ever watch The Munsters?
No.
Oh my god, dude! Like you have to watch
the Addams Family. Remember the Theory of Two? I watched the Addams Family. I figured I covered all the bases.
But you picked the wrong one, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Like the Munsters have a car. I don't remember what the car's called. But I would choose that as a wild card. Or you've seen the Beverly Hillbillies?
Yeah.
Or were you a Green Acres person? Rule of 2.
I'm a Beverly Hillbilly guy.
So I would go with the Beverly Hillbillies little traveling wagon thing that they drove.
That's just Mater in real life.
Okay.
That's a real life Mater.
But again, you went with a cartoon Velma, and I went with a real life woman.
Good point.
So again, we're talking 2 different languages here, my man.
Touche. All right.
So I have in the same vein as choosing, some of these fun vehicles and stuff from movies and TV.
Okay.
We're obviously, our podcast, although we talk about a slew of things, we're entertainment based, right? So we're much about movies, TV, comedy, that sort of stuff, right? So I've prepared you for this, so just so the audience knows, like we're both on the same page here. But we each picked 8 movies. Now I don't know if we're going to get to the 8 movies.
Okay.
But we each picked 8 movies that we're going to read the synopsis on the back of the DVD case.
Okay.
And we're going to have to guess it as far as who's correct.
Yep. And and just to pull the curtain back a bit, we talked about because we wanted to give out a lot of rules, like to make sure that we don't give anything away. So we won't be saying actors' names, their character names, directors, anything like that. We're going to describe this as best as possible, and then see if we can guess. Correct?
Correct.
Right.
Now, if the movie is not like Top Gun, let's say, where you're referring to him as Maverick, right? And the name is John, I would say, okay, it's fair to say John's name if it's pertinent to the synopsis.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
if it makes sense in the short little story that you and the other thing too, we're not trying not to guess these. Like we're not trying to outdo each other by not guessing these. We're just trying to switch something up and have a little fun with this.
Yeah, and so I picked out. I'm gonna go first with one, but we picked out movies that we like, but also like we made it. We didn't, like you said, not too hard, but just enough. But good films too. That some that we've seen, some we know we haven't seen that we enjoy. So first, I'm gonna read. This is a riveting look at how blind ambition white-hot passion, and 24-karat greed toppled an empire. Las Vegas, 1973, is the setting for this fact-based story about the mob's multi-million-dollar casino operation where fortunes and lives were made and lost with the roll of the dice.
1973 in Las Vegas. My initial instinct was to go with casino until you said 1973 Las Vegas. But now I'm thinking it has something to do with Bugsy Siegel or the Rat Pack.
So what do you get?
And potentially Ocean's 11.
So you're going with Ocean's 11?
I'm going to go with Ocean's 11.
So it's actually Casino. You were right the first time. And
I was right.
This is based, because we're based on the back of it. I mean, because I like you, I enjoyed back in the day when you would go rent a movie, you'd read the back and it tells you not just like when you rent books or anything.
Right.
No, you were exactly right. I like I said, it's not super hard, but it's good enough. But I mean, the reason I picked that one first, that's a greatly written synopsis of that movie.
Phenomenal.
To the point, quick, easy, good little characterization and puns. So, yeah, good job.
Okay, so I will go next. I know for a fact you've seen this movie. Okay. So so if I read it a little slow, guys, just understand I'm trying to kind of get rid of names here. But it's a drama, okay? And it stars a brash Navy lawyer who teamed up with a gung-ho litigator in a politically explosive murder case. Charged with defending two Marines accused of killing a fellow soldier, they're confused with complex issues of loyalty and honor, including its most sacred code and its most formidable warrior.
A Few Good Men.
Ah, correct. You got it.
I knew it right when you said it. I just didn't want to interrupt you. I wanted you to be able to finish it.
Okay.
But yeah, no, great thing. Synopsis, spot on, tells you the movie. Great film, great flick.
Oh, love the film.
Okay.
You can't handle the truth.
Yeah, one of the most quoted things ever. I'm going to pick a movie. I don't know if you've seen this. So, and the reason I'm picking this is one of my favorite movies. I think it's very well done. Like I said, I feel bad because I know you probably haven't seen it, but I think it's one of those ones that a lot of people need to see. So, the character is nearing the completion of his 3-year-long contract with Lunar Industries, mining Earth's primary source of energy on the dark side of the moon. Alone with only the base's vigilant computer, Gertie, as his sole companion. The extended isolation has taken its toll. He is the only link to the outside world via satellite messages from his wife and young daughter. He longs to return home, but a terrible accident on the lunar surface leads to a disturbing discovery that contributes to his growing sense of paranoia and dislocation so many miles away from home.
You know, to be honest with you, I know that you said that I haven't seen it.
Mm-hmm.
It does sound familiar.
Right.
And
a lot of people have heard of this movie, and a lot of people I talk to haven't seen it, even though it has great reviews. It's the movie Moon with Sam Rockwell.
I was actually just going to say Moon. I was thinking it was either Moon or it was Iron Sky.
Right.
But okay.
Moon,
okay,
great
good.
flick. I love that movie. It's slow, quiet. I mean, we've talked about that. I like movies like that, but
right, slow burn.
Yep.
Okay, so on to the next.
Yep.
So a father is desperately trying to sell his motivational success program with no success. Meanwhile, pro-honesty mom lends support to her eccentric family, including her depressed brother, fresh out of the hospital being jilted by his lover. Then there are younger last names, the 7-year-old, who would be beauty queen, the brother, who has taken a vow of silence, and topping off the family's a foul-mouthed grandfather whose outrageous behavior recently got him evicted from his retirement home.
Little Miss Sunshine.
Good for you, man.
You know me, I watch a lot of movies, and it was at first I was sitting there going, shit, I'm not going to know this movie. And then once we got to when you were describing the family members, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, that movie's all about
I paused
characterization.
there because I was actually getting ready to read one of their names, and I was like, oh, I know if I read that, you would get away with it.
Yeah.
So, but good job.
Thank you. All right, so I know you've seen this one. It's one of our favorites, even when I read this, I'll just preface, it's probably going to give it away, but I don't care. From the bridge of the Fleet Battle Station Ticonderoga, with its sweeping galactic views, to the desolate terrain planet of Klendathu, teeming with shrieking, fire-spitting, brain-sucking special effects creatures. They travel to a distant and desolate Klendathu system for the ultimate showdown between species. The reason I paused, it's all names in between that, so it was useless.
I'm going to say Starship Troopers.
You are exactly correct, sir.
Okay.
Great.
Okay.
I mean, Klendathu gives it, but yeah.
Yeah.
Great flick. Great. Do you have now? Speaking of which, have you ever read that book?
I have not.
You should.
I have not. Is the book much? I always make the assumption that the book is better than the movie,
It's
but is
not,
it
in my
like
opinion.
tremendously better? Oh, really? The movie's better?
Because the way they did the movie is so interactive and fun. Like when it's like, "Would you like to know more?" and you're like, "Yeah, I would like to know more." I think the movie's better in my opinion. Plus, I had a crush on Denise Richards, and I had a crush as I got older on the other chick that he gets with. So,
Gotcha.
all
right. So here's another one for you.
Okay.
Okay. So this is a very short synopsis, and I'm going to skip over a couple names. I'm not sure if you've seen this movie. If you have not seen this movie, you probably should. It's a great film. I imagine you have, however. We haven't really discussed this ever, I don't think. So it is a heartwarming and inspirational film based on a true story.
Okay.
It's a true story of a disfigured but sensitive and intelligent teenager. He's motivated by his loving mother and boyfriend. He ultimately overcomes pain, loneliness, and prejudice to become a role model to everyone.
It sounds familiar, but I'm going to go with I don't know, because I don't want to drag it out.
Mask.
Never. Nope.
You've never watched Mask with Eric Stoltz and Cher and Sam Elliott?
No.
Okay, so this is a real quick, brief story on this. The main character's name is Rocky Dennis.
Is that
okay?
the movie with the lion face kid?
Yeah.
Okay, I've seen this movie. I didn't know what it was called.
It's a great movie.
I've seen it.
Great movie.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna go with one I don't know if anybody's seen.
Okay.
I mean, I've seen it. I like it. It's in my collection. It's the one thing I hate about it. It's in a DVD. You know those crappy cases where it's got the little plastic tab that closes the cardboard.
Yeah.
I hate those ones. It's one of those cases, which tells you enough about the movie. So, when the detective awakens in a strange hotel room, he finds that he is wanted for a series of brutal murders. The problem is he can't remember a thing. Pursued by the police and haunted by strangers, mysterious beings who possess the ability to stop time and alter reality. This is where he seeks to unravel the twisted riddle of his identity, but in a city where reality is the ultimate illusion, discovering the truth could be fatal.
The only thing that's coming to mind, and I don't think it's this movie, is that one movie with Tom Cruise where he is a cop or something
That's
and
Minority
he's going to
Report.
commit a crime. Minority Report?
It's
yeah.
not that, no. So
yeah, that's the only one that's coming to mind, so I haven't watched it.
This is Dark City.
Yeah, I never watched it.
So it's by
Any good?
I like it. It's probably like a cult classic. It's the guy who directed The Crow did this movie. And so the only reason I bought it and watched it when I was older, remember when we'd watch VHSs and you'd have those trailers play?
Yeah.
This was one, for some reason, it was on so many movies I would rent. And so finally I was like, you know what? I got to check this one out. And so I went and bought it in the cheap bin, and I like it. But yeah, I knew that one would probably throw you off just because like it has a good description of the movie, but you know,
Oh,
it's one of
yeah.
those, if you haven't seen it, it's so vague too and basic.
Okay. So I've got one. I know for a fact you've seen this. Okay. And the synopsis on the back, I may stumble over it a little bit because I'm trying not to give names, but bear with me here. Meet the main character. He's not the sharpest tool in the shed, but when a government hibernation experiment goes awry, the main character wakes up in the year 2505 to find society so dumbed down by mass commercialism and mindless TV programming that he becomes the smartest guy on the planet.
Ow, my balls!
Yeah.
Idiocracy.
Yes.
Job. Once I heard the year and then that he was the smartest person, I was like, okay, we got this. All right. I know you've seen this movie. I really like it. I think it's one of the actor's best ones. The last man on Earth is not alone. He portrays that lone survivor in the flick. Somehow he is immune to an unstoppable, incurable virus, while a military virologist is now the last human survivor in New York City, and maybe the world.
I Am Legend.
Yep, exactly. Did you know that's a remake?
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
I think we talked about it before, but yeah. Anyways. Yeah.
I don't know that we've talked about that on the air, but yeah, I did know it's a remake.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So I don't know if you've watched this movie. Great movie if you haven't. Totally would suggest that you watch it. Great actors that are in the movie, no less. So again, this is one that I'm going to kind of stumble here a little bit just because I'm trying to cover names. But ultimately, this is a gripping and powerful drama about family, fate, circumstance, and justice. The main character leads a dead-end life. He works a meaningless steel mill job all day and cares for his terminally ill father at night. When his brother returns home from Iraq, he's lured into one of the Northeast's most ruthless crime rings and mysteriously disappears. When the police fail to solve the case, the main character puts his life at risk in order to seek justice for his brother. This absorbing film features a knockout cast that includes actor.
I don't know that one.
Out of the Furnace with Christian Bale. Have you watched this movie?
No, I haven't.
It's Out of the Furnace, so it stars Christian Bale, Woody Harrelson, Casey Affleck, Forrest Whitaker, Willem Dafoe, Zoe Saldana, and Sam Shepard.
Damn, that's a good cast. I'm gonna have to
It's a fantastic movie, as a matter of fact. It is violent, but it is good. It's one of those slow burns. I think you would like it, actually, because it is kind of a slow-burning film. But no, it's definitely good. Worth the watch.
Okay. All right, so this one is a sweeping epic that explores the lives of two young men, a ranch hand and a rodeo cowboy, who meet in the summer of 1963 and unexpectedly forge a lifelong connection. The complications, joys, and heartbreak they experience provide a testament to endurance and the power of love. Everyone delivers an emotionally charged, remarkably moving performance in a movie that is destined to become one of the greatest classics of our time.
Oh, man. Have I seen this one?
I think so. I mean, majority of society did when it came out.
Is this The Last Cowboy?
No. And I'll say this. If I said the characters' names and all I said was these two dudes starred in a movie together, you would guess it. It's Brokeback Mountain.
Oh,
now,
fuck's sake.
I knew you would be mad at me about this one. Now, here's the thing about this, though. The way they describe that film on the back.
That's not the plot.
Is
yeah,
terrible.
Describe it from the back, Jake. Is that what you said?
It's terrible. I'm just gonna say that's one of the worst out of ones I picked. It's sort of like Dark City. If you haven't seen it, it's so vague.
Was that set in 1963?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, okay.
Now here's the thing, though. It's the only way you'd know is if you knew the name of the film and you knew the characters. Other than that, I mean, it's a very whoever wrote that.
Quit you.
Whoever wrote that did a shitty job. That is just a terrible job of writing a synopsis, in my opinion.
Right.
But, all right.
Yeah, synopsis. The synopsis has to at least encompass part of the storyline.
Right.
I mean, yeah, that one didn't give it away at all.
No.
Okay, you have for sure seen this movie. I'm sure everybody has seen this movie. So again, I am going to try to stumble my way through, not trying to give it away.
Okay.
When the beautiful maiden hears that her true love is dead, she reluctantly agrees to marry a loathsome prince. After the true love returns to rescue the maiden, the two begin an epic adventure filled with fencing, fighting, giants, monsters, miracles, true love, and hilarity.
Princess Bride.
Good job.
Yeah, that's an amazing classic. One of my favorite films as a kid. Although The Power of Two, I'd put Never Ending Story up against it as a better film.
Well, I don't know that I can say one is better than the other. I think both of them are really, really good.
I can say one's better than the other, but that's because that's how I am. So this one I'm gonna have the hardest time reading, I think, just because there's so many names in it and the name of it. It uses a lot of puns, so I think you'll get it. I think you've seen this movie. It was when it came out, I really enjoyed it. So, I'm trying to find the spot to start by skipping to some of this stuff, so bear with me here. Okay. The character incurs the wrath of a senator bent on snuffing out cigarettes. His powers of filtering the truth will be put to the test. And as the character says, if you want an easy job, go work for Red Cross. With a smoking all-star cast that includes actor, this fiendishly funny comedy will prove seriously addictive.
Is that Thank You for Smoking?
Exactly is. Yes, it is.
Okay.
That film to me is just
that's
so
underrated.
well done. Because it was during that time when they were making movies where it was like breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah.
Where they do those narrations in front of you and show you a quick scene of like what was happening, So I really enjoy how that movie was made. Aaron Eckhart too, underrated actor. Everything.
I completely agree. I don't think I've seen him in a bad movie.
Have you ever?
As a matter of fact.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Have you
No,
seen
both
the
of us
one
were
where
on the same thing there.
where he bought a donut shop or something like that? Gets divorced and like.
No.
So there's this movie. I'll find the name and I'll post it. I'm sorry, I just can't right now off the top of my head. There's an indie film that I watched with him though because I was on this Aaron Eckhart trip. Like you know how you start like an actor and anything you find with them, you watch it.
Right.
Where he's like gonna get divorced from this woman. He's overweight, so he starts swimming and eating less candy bars and goes and like opens up like a restaurant chain and becomes successful. And it's just a great little flick. So
Okay.
yeah.
Well, definitely post that and separately let me know what it is, and I'll see if I've seen it or not. It doesn't sound familiar. Okay. This one, I think when I read the back of this one, you are for sure going to guess it. And then I want to spend a later episode potentially going through this and something else on a completely different topic. But so here's the synopsis. At first, backup quarterback is nowhere close to being a football star. He's perfectly content to stay on the bench and out of a win-at-all-cost strategies coach.
Do you want me to interrupt you because I know what it is, or do you want to finish it? Sorry.
I've got 2 more sentences.
Do it.
When the starting quarterback is injured, the backup quarterback's in the game and in direct conflict with his hot-headed coach and girlfriend.
I don't want your laugh. I am Tweeter too, by the way. It's Varsity Blues, bro.
Varsity Blues. That's such a good movie.
That's one of your... here's the funny thing is, as we were doing this and you told me I knew this was what you're going to pick. So I got one more. I think you got one more, right? If my math's correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've each got one more.
So this is one of my favorite, like, just those movies you just throw in that's stupid, but you just love it for some reason. You don't know why.
Right.
So and I will say this: it's a kids movie. So I saw this when I was a kid, but I just love the film. So I don't know if you've seen it. You might have, but blast off for outrageously funny space travel in this screwball comedy that spins wildly out of control on its way to Mars. Though he's a whiz with computer, accident-prone astronut is the last guy on Earth you want to be the first man mission to Mars. But as bad luck and poor timing would have it, that's exactly what happens. As he undergoes rigorous, if not hilarious, training at NASA. And then after that, it's T-minus a reality check as he blasts off with the rest of the space shuttle crew. A cocky nonsense commander, a sexy space mission specialist, and a mischievous space chimp. From the dizzying free flight foolishness to an even loonier landing.
Rocket Man.
Exactly. I love that film. That's an underrated, crappy little kid comedy.
That's funny because the last one that I have here is not a kid's movie.
Okay.
Because I'm an adult. And
fuck you, B-word.
So, an ex-pilot turned farmer must leave his family and foundering Earth to lead an expedition traveling beyond this galaxy. Oh, yep, you got it.
Sorry, man.
Interstellar is one of my guilty pleasures. I think the storyline of Interstellar is unique. I like the science of the time or of the space travel. It kind of loses me at the end. I don't want to spoil the end for anybody, but it kind of loses me at the end a little bit. But overall, man, that's one of my favorite movies. Period.
Theory of Two.
I will watch. Yeah, Theory of Two. Yeah.
Mine is The Arrival. against that.
No.
See, I'd rather watch The Arrival than Interstellar.
No, see, and this one I don't think is Theory of Two with Arrival. I mean, I think, well, I guess in some ways it's kind of similar. I think of this one more as like The Martian.
See, The Martian to me was disappointing because it got such high reviews.
You didn't like
And
The Martian?
I liked it. I just didn't think it was as great as people put it out. It's like The Revenant. I like The Revenant. I don't think it's as good as people made it seem.
I did not like The Revenant. I'll be the first one to say that.
The Arrival, like, because if you compare Interstellar to that, right, just real quick, they have like the same type of score, right?
They have the same actor.
Same actors. They have space, essentially, time, and then trying to figure out something before time is up.
Right.
And so I could throw on, that's for me, I'll throw on The Arrival all the time and just sit and watch that.
So The Arrival was with Amy Adams, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that was a good movie. I don't want to say it's not a good movie. I prefer Interstellar over that still. But yeah, Amy Adams, she's a great actress. Great actress. So it looks like we actually went through all 8 movies, my man.
Good guessing, dude. I mean,
This was, yeah, there was a couple, man, that I just didn't really know what you were doing. But, you know, I think that actually turned out pretty well.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
So with that, man, I just want to kind of plug in our socials for Facebook and for Twitter at Bleach Bros Pod. For Instagram and for Patreon, it's at Bleach Bros Podcast. We would love it if you would follow us on the socials, share with your friends, let a friend know to follow us. We would love your help in getting us more than 2 viewers per week. Thanks, moms. And with the Patreon, there is we are setting it up where you will be able to listen to podcasts actually early. So our podcasts typically drop on Sundays. You'll be able to get the podcast a few days early with some subscription options, and then there's also some options for merch on our Patreon. So make sure to check that out. And with that, Jake, what do you got for us?
Thanks for all the dirty talk, and come back and get sanitized.